David Bowie is my favourite musician of all time. He deserves better than this utter bollocks. I'd rather move to the labyrinth than watch this movie ever again. I'd rather become a prince in the labyrinth and just live there for the rest of the time. A prince in the labyrinth.
Prince of the land of stench.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim and welcome back to Planet Rewind, a place to reminisce with fellow movie fans, nostalgia nuts. Please consider subscribing to this channel if you like what you see. So the movie is of course about David Bowie's 1970s early years, played by Johnny Flynn in the movie, and he goes on a tour of America to promote The Man Who Sold the World and eventually kind of comes up with the character of Ziggy Stardust. Now this was a fascinating time for David Bowie's career, absolutely fascinating. Obviously he was trying to find his sound, he was trying to find his place in the music scene, and he ended up making The Man Who Sold the World, and then Hunky Dory. Hunky Dory I think is an absolute masterpiece. Never been too keen on The Man Who Sold the World, to be honest. I like the song, but I don't really like most of the album. So he was kind of trying to find himself with this quirky music. And then he kind of journeyed into creating this mega, force beyond himself that was Ziggy Stardust. What a story that was to tell. And they tell it in the most dismal, annoying, frustrating, obnoxious way you could ever tell. This is the worst biopic of all time. Unquestionable. One of the biggest problems with this entire film is that everyone in the entire film is unlikable, including David Bowie. That's a problem. You need to like, at least in some respects, the Elton John biopic had some dark elements of the Elton John character, but you at least liked him. You at least sympathised. This Bowie is a complete dick. This is not David Bowie. This is some unlikable, pretentious idiot. And I feel terrible saying it, but they completely disgraced David Bowie's name in this. This is not him. And if this is how he behaved back here, then I want that to not be shown in time, because it would end up with me getting frustrated that David Bowie was ever that stupid. Johnny Flynn's David Bowie is like watching a pretentious 13-year-old who's just got into music and thinks he's really cool. But David Bowie shouldn't be that. He should be iconic. Even if this is just pre when David Bowie became a legend, he should still be saying thoughtful things. He should still be the presence of a rock star and, bubbling underneath the surface. No, Johnny Flynn plays Bowie as a lost fool. And you get more sense out of people on reality TV shows, the Kardashians, than this David Bowie. He's an absolute donut. And plus he's arrogant. He's really arrogant in this. They present him as an arrogant idiot who thinks he's amazing, who just wants everyone to do everything for him. If Bowie behaved this way in his career, I'm baffled he got anywhere, because he makes no effort with his music, he makes no effort with his promotion, with his image. He just has a go at everyone around him, says these pretentious things, just treats everyone around him like shit, including his wife, his manager, his band members. I don't want to see David Bowie like this. Even if there's elements of truth, I do not want to see it. And I guarantee he wasn't like this. This is just some kind of project where they're actually trying to get arty with it, because they know they can't use music, they know they can't actually make a Bowie biopic, so they have to twist it and make it just this awkward mess. Everyone in this movie is yelling and screaming at each other. David Bowie's wife in the film is yelling and screaming every time you see her. She's rude, she's arrogant, she's annoying. David Bowie's manager in the film, who's probably the best performance in the film but still not great, is annoying. He makes moves in Bowie's career which are just stupid, wouldn't work. Like the whole thing is like about this failed experiment of Bowie's career. And if you presented this person without the real David Bowie and said, is he going to be a star? You'd be like, hell no. And I have to say, people have a go at him from the trailer, but Johnny Flynn as David Bowie just does not work. He looks nothing like him. He sounds nothing like him. I like the outfits in this film, I'll say that. He dresses like Bowie. You get the impression this is Bowie from the 70s. But again, he just doesn't have any of the presence, any of the aura, any of the charisma of Bowie. And you just end up, I'm so annoyed that I watched a film that makes me annoyed at a character claiming to be David Bowie. And it's a totally dismal film, it's dark. There's no celebratory nature to this at all. There's no Bowie finding the Ziggy character in this big, epic way. No, it's dark, it's dismal, it's depressing. It focuses a lot on David Bowie's brother, who battled with a mental illness and got put into a mental ward. And Bowie visits him, and Bowie worries that he'll go down that road. And there's loads of dark, dismal messaging in there about schizophrenic, which, okay, but it's done so depressingly, and you don't feel like being depressed when you're watching a Bowie film. It would be fine if it was that in a few scenes, and we had a few scenes like that, but the whole film is kind of about this. I don't know why they chose to focus on that. Focus on him finding the Bowie character. Focus on him finding, his career. But no, they focus, for some reason, on his odd relationship with his brother, which Bowie fans don't want to see. And the problem is you can't sympathise with this Bowie because he's so annoying and horrible in this film. So I'm just sat there watching a bunch of unlikable people, the whole thing, who I can't get behind any of them, least of all David Bowie. This film is dry, it tries to be inventive, it tries to have like some Rocket Man-esque scenes, some trippy psychedelic scenes. No, without the music, you're not going to create Bowie's mood, you're not going to create the atmosphere, and you just end up looking pretentious, you just end up looking amateur. And it just feels like they're trying to pad things out because they know they haven't got anything of Bowie they can actually use. So they just put these useless scenes in and try and give it this pretentious edge. The journey to Ziggy Stardust barely happens. It's like he's pissing around, being rude to his manager, being rude to the record label, being rude to his wife, not caring about his wife, thinking about his brother too much and no one else, which I understand maybe it consumed him. But he's an unlikable person, so who cares? Treating everyone around him like shit, doing nothing for his career, and then just decided, fuck it, I'll be an alien. That's it. He just randomly decides, fuck it, just make my hair red and just, make myself look alien-like. What else can I do? It almost feels like this Bowie gets to the point where he realises he's such a dick, he thinks I'll just have to become an alien. Become a bloody crazy alien. That's not how it happened, guys. You look at the time, you can read back on the time of David Bowie, and he was really interested in becoming something other than himself. And in this you have just short moments of Bowie looking through clippings, and he just becomes Ziggy in another scene. I'm like, what? There's no build up to Ziggy. This film's supposed to be about him becoming Ziggy, but no, there's no mention, there's no build up. And I get so frustrated because I know why they did this. Biopics are big, we're going to make one. Well, the Bowie estate doesn't want you to make it. Screw them, we don't care. Well, you can't use any music. Screw them. We'll just use a fucking Velvet Underground cover, played amateurishly and dreary. I'm angry at this film, guys. I'm personally offended that they made it because it's a direct insult and slap in the face of David Bowie. I'm annoyed at myself for wanting to see this time period of Bowie on screen because it's so fascinating. You suckered me in. I'm annoyed at Johnny Flynn for accepting this because he knew the family didn't want to do it. He knew he looks nothing like Bowie. He knew his performance was shite. I'm annoyed at everyone involved in the making of this movie because it's pretentious garbage. And I am someone who loves long film buffy films, that could be considered pretentious by some. If you ever want to find the actual definition of pretentious, it's Stardust 2020. But hey, we still have David Bowie. We still have the great films that Bowie made. If you want to watch Bowie on film, watch The Man Who Fell to Earth, watch Labyrinth, watch The Hunger, which I haven't seen, but it's David Bowie in a bloody vampire film. I should get on that, and so should you. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it. You've got enough information in this video. I'm telling you not to watch it. I suffered through. I'm trying to tell you why you shouldn't watch it. But if you, by any chance, have seen it or decide to watch it out of curiosity, let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's a disgrace. I think it's one of the worst movies I've seen in 5 years, possibly 10. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed. I talk about geeky movie stuff, nostalgia on the channel. Like the video, and I will see you guys next time.
Prince of the land of stench.